This is KGW News at noon.
Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Drew Carney, filling in today for Brenda Braxton. And we start this afternoon with President Biden looking to help millions of Americans pay their medical bills. But the new administration is also dealing with the fact that the COVID vaccine rollout has been anything but smooth to this point. NBC's Tracy Potts has more on why people who want the vaccine right now can't get it.
In my view, we've already waited.
After taking action on climate change,
we can't wait any longer.
3 sources tell NBC today President Biden will sign orders to add more people to Medicaid and reopen Affordable Care Act marketplaces to Americans who need insurance during the pandemic.
This virus is mutating, and it's mutating fairly quickly.
The CDC says the new UK version of coronavirus is spreading fast in the U.S., now present in half the country, expected to be the primary strain by March. But vaccine distribution is slow. Only 1 in 16 people have received both shots.
Where are all these vaccine doses?
We expect to get the doses by mid to late summer.
Not soon enough. The CDC predicts the death toll will reach more than 500,000 in February. This has been the deadliest month since the pandemic began. The federal government's getting rid of its vaccine stockpile.
We are passing doses directly along to states very much in real time as they order them.
Now asking 10,000 troops to help. On Capitol Hill,
why is it in there?
Republicans want to cut cybersecurity and a minimum wage hike out of President Biden's nearly $2 trillion COVID relief plan.
It really has nothing to do with COVID relief.
Democratic leaders are pushing for a vote soon. But too soon could mean no Republican votes, and that's not what President Biden said he was going for here. Plus, there are now some Democrats balking at what they consider extras, things that they think don't need to be in this relief plan. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
Let's talk about the vaccination situation here where we live. Washington Governor Jay Inslee stopped by the mass vaccination clinic at the Clark County Fairgrounds today. The governor said Washington has been cleared to receive a 16% increase in vaccine doses over the next 3 weeks. He says he's also encouraged by the number of vaccinations that have already happened over the last week.
And I think it should encourage us, the progress we've made in the state of Washington in the last week. We've gone from about 13,000 vaccinations a day to almost 40,000 a day in the last few days, just in the last week to 10 days. So we are on the path to success.
Governor Inslee did point out that limited doses remain a legitimate concern, but he says he's optimistic after getting the word that President Biden has ordered more doses for Washington. Oregon, meanwhile, has received 600,000 doses of the COVID vaccine to this point, but almost half of those doses haven't been used. So some people have said that's an example of good planning, making sure that everyone gets a second dose. Other people aren't buying it. They say it is simply a wasted opportunity. For more on this story, here's Pat Doris.
The big new question is whether the state is actually setting aside 50% of the doses of COVID-19 vaccinations that are being sent to the state or not. Last week, in a Zoom news conference, a member of the OHA, in fact, the guy running the vaccination program, said, yes, indeed, we expect vaccinators to set aside 50% of what they get. And yet a different person from the OHA said, no, we're not setting aside and we're not requiring vaccinators to set aside 50%. We're just designating new shipments when they come in that those will go for the people that got shots 3 weeks ago. So there's an interesting conundrum that we're still trying to untangle and figure out what's right about that. In the meantime, here's some interesting numbers that make me question a lot. 600,895 doses have been sent to the state. 340,000 and change have been used. So that's a difference of 260,000 doses. Man, that's a lot of people that could be vaccinated. So if the state's not holding back second doses, why have those not been used? And we've heard several times that there are so many systems set up now to do vaccinations that the real problem is supply. And yet it seems like Oregon has a lot sitting on the shelf. We need to untangle this, and we'll keep asking questions until we get answers.
Well, if you'd like more information about vaccines, you can simply text the word vaccine to that number on the screen, 503-226-5088. We'll reply with a link to our coverage online that answers a lot of the most commonly asked questions. And you can also use that same text number to send us your own specific vaccine questions. Well, the Oregon Health Authority just released its weekly COVID report, and it shows case numbers are down, at least a little bit. Brian Clerkley has a closer look at the numbers for us.
The Oregon Health Authority says the week of January 18th saw a 48% decrease in new daily COVID cases from the week before. And this is good, but this is down from record highs. There was also a 33% drop in hospitalizations. Deaths reported were 74, down from 195. The percentage of positive tests have also dropped to 5.1%. That's an important number because it helps measure how fast the virus is moving through the community. The lower the number, the better. Multnomah County Health says the drop in cases is due to people following CDC guidelines, especially over the holidays. But even though the cases are dropping, families are still torn apart by the virus. 66-year-old Charles Davis from Fairview got sick last April. He was high risk and had survived cancer. He fought COVID in the ICU for a month but died. His family is shattered and wants everyone to remember that behind each number is a person.
These are real people. They're not just numbers you're seeing on a screen. It's very angering when people are just like, oh, well, he was old or he had underlying conditions. Like, that's not fair.
And to track the COVID numbers, we have links on our website, kgw.com. I'm Bryant Clerkley, KGW News.
Well, here's the latest on a story we've been following closely all week. 64-year-old Paul Rivas has pleaded not guilty to the murder charges and assault charges that he's connected with after a string of hit and runs that happened in southeast Portland Monday. Police say he killed one woman and hurt 9 other people that afternoon. Rivas initially told investigators his car was having brake problems. He also suggested some of the people could have been hit by a different car. Rivas is being held in jail without bail. New at noon, Mayor Wheeler is responding after getting an apology from the man he says pepper sprayed him over the weekend. Carrie Cadnaugh is a Portland lawyer, and his family used to own Alpenrose Dairy. In a statement, Carrie Cadnaugh said this: "I am remorseful for my decision to confront Mayor Wheeler, and I'm sorry that he felt the need to use pepper spray." Cadnaugh went on to say, "I cherish Portland and our local community and recognize that Mayor Wheeler has a very difficult job." On Sunday night, Mayor Wheeler pepper sprayed him outside of McMiniman's pub in Rowley Hills. Wheeler told police Cadnaugh approached him while he was eating in a tent and accused the mayor of violating COVID restrictions. The mayor also told police Cadnaugh followed him to his car, not wearing a mask himself, and got in his face. That's when the mayor says he warned him to back off, but when he didn't, Wheeler pepper sprayed him. So Wheeler is now beefing up his security. He released this statement today. It says in part, "I want to acknowledge and appreciate Mr. Cadnaugh's apology. I consider the matter closed now. I'm hopeful that this will be a catalyst for all of us to return to healthy, respectful civic dialogue." Right now we're taking a look at this video. It's a landslide in western Washington, which washed away a section of this hill alongside SR 109. This is on the coast right near Seabrook. Geologists estimate the landslide is 300 feet long and up to 90 feet high. The slide is blocking access right now to a coastal village where 1,000 people live.